what we call a campfire chat for Camino women, and tonight we are showcasing our beautiful Nepal trips, Annapurna Base Camp and Upper Mustang region. And we have Sajiya and Somita here, who are both incredible parts of our team in Nepal, both responsible for the designing of the trips, and they're here to share in their skills and give us lots of details about both of those trips and about Nepal in general. And also we have Alan here, who is part of the Leatherback Trip Design or Camino Women, and also Shona, who is another member of our team at this end. So yeah, welcome Gail, Michelle and Amy. And first of all, Sajiya, I'd love to introduce her. She is part of the trip design and lives in Kathmandu. It is a very special holiday in Nepal today. You girls will have to explain that better, but it's a bit rude of me that I've chosen today for them to be here, because there's everybody else in Nepal, I think, is celebrating right now, and they've sweetly agreed to be here to chat with us. So thank you both so much. And Sajiya, would you like to kick off and just say a little bit about yourself, please?
Hi everyone, I am Sajiya, and I mean, it's been a wonderful journey to work with Camino. It's been like quite long, and I always get excited when it comes to all women trip, and because I personally enjoy, like, I'm a very much with, like, you know, gang of girlfriend, always traveling, doing things and stuff, and there's always something about it. So yeah, I mean, the journey has been wonderful, and introducing Annapurna Base Camp and Upper Mustang was one of the key part, I would say, that we got the opportunity, and we are very excited to bring you here, show you what we have. And also yes, we were a little bit I would say thrilled when we introduced Upper Mustang as well, because when we talk about like Nepal trips, the first thing comes in mind is like either Everest or Annapurna, but Nepal is like beyond Everest and Annapurna. Like there's so many things, so many hidden treasures, so many opportunities to explore around, you know, have like cultural education, the history, the ancientness. So, you know, there are like lots and lots of things beyond Everest and Annapurna. So whenever like people are talking about like, oh, you know, Everest or Annapurna, I like always make sure to debate that no, Nepal is like beyond you know, Everest and Annapurna. So yeah, so that's where we got this opportunity to introduce, and we are so looking forward to it. So if you have any questions, any confusion, we would be more than happy to answer it. But other than that, and if we are not able to answer it right now, then we'll just prepare a note of it, and then we can just share it with you once we get all this information as well. But we would try our best to cover as much as possible if you have any queries. Yeah, thank you so much. Looking forward to take you to Nepal and, you know, have that awesome experience. Yeah, we promise you that. Back to Somita, I guess.
One little bit to let you know is that Michelle, Amy, and Gail are all booked on the Upper Mustang trip. So
ooh,
these three ladies
thank you.
Are all headed to your part of the world. 27th of October, they will be landing in Kathmandu, or maybe previously, and yeah, going on our first Upper Mustang trip. So thank you three very much. It's a brand new trip, and yeah, very thrilled that you're all joining. And Somita.
Hi everyone. I am Somita from Nepal. I have been in the travel industry for quite some time now. And as like all of you, obviously, who is on this call, I am also a lover of treks and adventures. And Sajiya and I together have designed the Upper Mustang trek, keeping in mind that people love to explore the trails and regions beyond the, you know, usual Everest and Annapurna region, as she mentioned. And in order to design this trip, we have worked very closely with our local guides and the local accommodation owners and everyone gathering all the information. And yeah, we are very much looking forward to having you here in Nepal in October.
Fantastic. Thank you, Somita. And Alan here is part of our trip design team with Camino Women. So a lot of, you know, the things behind the scenes that you don't see when you chat to myself or Sophie for these trips, Alan has created in conjunction with Sajiya and Somita, or the various destinations. So yeah, he's very, very gifted at his role, and you mightn't see his face so often. So it's lovely to have you here too, Alan, and be able to see you. And a lot of the magic of these trips and the itineraries is courtesy of Alan and Anila. So thank you so much. And I don't know, all of you girls, with Upper Mustang, because it's a brand new trip, have you got questions or anything in particular that you're curious about to do with what's involved, or the hiking, or the terrain, or altitude, or anything at all that like you would love Somita and Sajiya to like help you with?
I would like to know what the weather is like, so I know what to pack. Yeah, because I'm buying a jacket in a couple of days, and I just want to know if it'll be warm enough or too hot, or
so we have a little table of like, so for Upper Mustang, a climate chart and things. So
yeah.
I would think that like October, you said, is kind of milder weather. Is that correct, Sanjaya and Somita? We try and plan our trips so that they're not in the freezing cold or the boiling hot sort of periods anywhere in the world, so that guests are comfortable to be outdoors and hiking. So specifics about the climate at that time of year in Upper Mustang, if you have any.
So basically, Upper Mustang has a very, very like I wouldn't say like common weather, but the best part is like it does not rain very heavily, and or you can say like it rains very, very in a less like amount. And also October is one of the best month to travel to Nepal, of course, like overall with the weather wise. But having said that, Upper Mustang does get very windy. So in that case, we always recommend, like throughout the year, we recommend people, if they are planning to like travel or do any sort of trips related to Upper Mustang, then having like good windproof gear is very much recommended. Inside tea houses, it's not going to be like very cold. It's going to be cozy, warm, because they have this specific area where they do this campfire and something, I think it's called Campfire. The inside like dining area, they have this big warm place where they do all this bonfire and stuff. So in that case, it gets warm enough. But yes, outside it's going to be quite windy. So in that case, if you're getting jacket, I would say definitely having like good windproof jacket always helps. Even if it's like something lighter, having at least extra windproof gear is highly recommended for the Upper Mustang part. That's something highly recommended. Yeah.
Fantastic. And Michelle and Amy?
Gail, what kind of jacket do you have in mind? Because like as Sajiya said, wind is there, but in the evenings and the mornings, it also tends to get very chilly because it is October and autumn season. So a warm enough jacket is highly recommended.
Yeah, the one I've been looking at is at MacPack in Perth. It's a 800 loft down jacket. And
Yeah, so,
it actually looks like a sleeping bag, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, so for the mornings and the evenings, a very warm jacket is recommended, even though it's October. Like during the day, it is going to be windy and sunny. So like two different kinds of jacket we would recommend. One for the, walking in the sun, but still protecting yourself from the wind. Even if it's sunny, it's going to get windy. And for the evenings and the mornings, a warmer jacket.
Great. Yeah.
Thank you. Like sometimes those down ones that you can pack up to not very much, they're wonderful to have on in the evenings, and stay cozy, and they're pretty lightweight. They're kind of condensed down, but I think they're fabulous, because when you stop moving in the evenings, or even if you're cold in your room or something, in the bunk room, it's good to have some layers.
Yeah, and just to be a little bit precise, like above 2,500 meters, especially in the mornings and night, it could go to like during this time of the weather, it could go somewhere around like -5 degrees Celsius as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that might be more useful. Yeah, around -5 degrees Celsius. Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Do you have length of jackets that you recommend?
Sorry, what was that?
Do you have a length of jacket that you recommend for the warmer one?
Not necessarily. I mean, I don't have a particularly long one. I just have one that comes to my waist that I find as long as my torso is warm, but it depends. You know, some people like to have sort of something that covers their hips and bottom and keeps you a bit snug. Personal preference, perhaps. Do you girls have any advice or recommendations?
I think, I mean, just now Pippa mentioned, I think something like that would make sense, like how comfortable you are, whether you want to go for like the longer one or just, you know, above your torso. So that's like completely your own preference. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think anything that's, you don't want to have too much gear, so something that, you know, those jackets now are fantastic. I mean, sometimes I'll curl mine up and use it as an extra pillow or put it over me if I'm cold at night. They're really pretty versatile. And even sitting around, you know, when you're eating your meals in the evening, if it's a bit chilly because you're tired and you've been hiking all day, just having something snuggly to put on, I think is really, you know, it's quite comforting. The other thing is footwear. I always think having something like Crocs or thongs, but Crocs because you can have socks inside of them and they're light. If you're getting up to go to the bathroom in the night in a tea house, you've got something that you can easily throw onto your feet. You don't want to be putting hiking boots on in the night or wearing your hiking boots at night because you haven't got other shoes with you. You need to give your feet a rest. That's just my kind of personal recommendation for when you're up in the mountains. It's really nice in the evenings to have nice, warm, cozy feet. But you don't want to be walking around in your socks and going into sort of grubby bathrooms or something. So that's, yeah, something like Crocs because they're super light and you can even tie them onto your day pack or something as well. They're a bit bulky, but they're very lightweight. So I think, or sandals, I'm not sure. You probably have something like that too. And any specifics about the itinerary or the amount of hiking or anything? And hi, is it Mani? Hi, welcome.
The terrain.
Yeah.
So what will the terrain be like? I've had a look at the website and the photos from in the gallery, and I don't know, it looked like there was formed paths. It looked like there was rocks. So is it just like a variable kind of path? You're trailing, like blazing your own trail. What's it look like?
Let me ask you, like, do you guys, is this your first time in Nepal? Like, are you doing Nepal treks for the first time?
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, the terrain would be like quite, I would say comparing to the Annapurna Base Camp and Everest Reason Trail, definitely the terrain would be, I wouldn't say like extremely easier, but it's definitely going to be easier because you wouldn't be walking in like lots of steep uphill or like lots of stairs and stuff. So the terrain wouldn't be something like that. And also Upper Mustang is like developing slowly. So there has been lots of like road constructions going around. Like you would see a lot of like, you know, flat roads and very like properly gravel roads as well. So some days you would be walking beside the, like, you know, you can see the like road trail very easily as well. And definitely there would be like a mixed type of terrain. Having said that, it's like it would not be like proper like gravel, but the small stone pebbles, and then you know, a little bit of like the structure would be the rock, not exactly the Rocky Mountains, but something like uneven kind of terrain. So you would be walking in those kind of path. It's not going to be very extremely steep uphill, downhill, something like that. So I would say this is definitely like untouched and remote area, and slowly it's getting like popular because like right now lots of even local tourists are like being part of this trail. But having said that, like if we have to compare with like a strenuous level, I would still say that this is quite easier because mostly it's like flat terrain, but the rough, ungraveled, if that word even exists. So it would be something like that. Yeah.
And the altitude compared to, say, Annapurna Base Camp?
You would be reaching maximum like around 4,200 meters. So Yeah, so even with the altitude wise, definitely like most of the time you would be walking like around 3,000 meters. So people who comes from a very flat region, it might be quite tougher for those people to get, very much used to of like even 3,000 meter. But like there are days where you're acclimatizing, where you're adjusting, and you're not only constantly being like directly in the high altitude. So altitude wise, it would be like you can say it would be maximum around like 40 to 100 meters. So you are not going like, you're not touching extremely upper part. So in that case, again, if you are like well prepared from day one itself with the, because even your leader would be briefing you like how you're going to prepare for the altitude part, like what needs to be taken care of, how you're going to walk, because there are some travelers who have this habit of like walking very faster, like that's the habit, like daily habit that they follow. But when you're walking into the high altitude region, it's not supposed to be like that. So all those tips and tricks would be shared brief before you start the walk. So in that case, I think it should be fine for you. Yeah.
And is this region still not quite very busy with like tourists? It's still quite remote and a little bit untouched, or is it becoming very developed, like Annapurna Base Camp or Everest Base Camp? That's like
no, it's not going to be. First of all, this is like, of course, I'm sure you all are aware, this is like little bit expensive trip comparing to the other trail, because it requires like special permits and like entry fees and stuff. So it's not very common, or let's say not very easily chosen one. But yes, those people who prefers very much like peace, and then who wants to be very much away from hustle and bustle, of course this is like one of those trips. But having said that, yes, it has been a little bit popular comparing to what we were doing in back in like 2024 or 25, especially after what we have realized is, especially after COVID, there are few company who is trying to sell the trip. So I wouldn't say it would be like completely vacant, or completely like no people kind of thing. But yes, comparing to the commercial trips like Everest and Annapurna, this is like way slower and also lighter, I would say. And also with the services wise, it's not very commercial as we do it for the Everest or Annapurna base camp part. Yeah.
fantastic. And Mani, hi, welcome. Just wondering, do you have any specific questions or anything you'd like to know? We've been chatting quite a lot about Upper Mustang, but perhaps you're curious about Annapurna Base Camp. Is there anything we can help you with? I think you're on mute. There should be there you go.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I have just sort of picked up on that you're doing hikes, you're arranging hikes, and so if it's not this year, then next year I'm looking at doing some hiking overseas. So the pool is one of the places I'd like to go. So yeah, I just joined in.
Fantastic. Well, lovely to see you. And yeah, we're just chatting. We have two beautiful trips to Nepal, Annapurna Base Camp and Upper Mustang, and it's a really gorgeous region of the world. So yeah, if you're curious, please reach out to us, if it's this year or next year, and we'd love to help you.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure. And anyone got any other questions for these beautiful girls while we're all here?
Before sorry, so I also wanted to suggest you guys, so you were just talking about the equipments and stuff. I would highly recommend having trekking poles. That is something very much useful. And also I recommend almost all our trekkers. So in that case, you can easily, if you can get it back home, that's absolutely fine. Otherwise, once you're in Kathmandu, you can purchase them easily. It totally depends on what quality you chose. You can spend for one pair, you can spend some around USD $7 to maximum $15. So, depending on quality, whether you'll be using it on future or not, you can easily buy them here. And again, if you miss to buy any sort of equipment back home, if you think that, you have a very strict weight limit and stuff. So in that case, once you're in Kathmandu, again, our leader would help you with any sort of gear shopping that is required. And if you miss to buy anything again back home, then where you would be located, it's a very like convenient for shopping gears and stuff. So that is something you can do it here in Kathmandu as well. So, and also if you miss to do that in Kathmandu, then there is an opportunity to do some quick shopping even in Pokhara. And you would also have the opportunity to store your extra baggage, like either in Kathmandu or in Pokhara, because that's the point from where you are doing Annapurna trail trekking. So be that for Upper Mustang or be that for Annapurna base camp trek or any Annapurna trail, that's how things goes. So I just wanted to make it a little bit easier on the equipment and packing side as well. And you can get some good stuffs here in Kathmandu with some very reasonable prices. Yeah.
The other thing our guests have all said on the Annapurna base camp trip is that having a poncho is just fantastic because it covers your day pack. It's quite difficult in the tea houses to dry your gear if you get wet. It's, confined space in the dormitory style accommodation, and then it's like you're putting wet gear on the next day, which isn't so fun. So the ponchos are probably quite expensive in Australia or New Zealand, but in Kathmandu, I think they're maybe $20 for a fabulous poncho that goes over everything, keeps your day pack dry, keeps most of your body dry, and I think it's probably most people you see out on the trails will be wearing a big poncho if it pours with rain. So that's one tip that we've had from the guests: just wait and buy that in Kathmandu rather than spending a lot of money in Australia. And also a pillow slip, which doesn't sound like it's much, but often in the tea houses, guests have said it's really nice to have your own pillowcase to pop over the pillows that are on the bunk beds in case they look like they need a wash, and you just feel like it kind of just got your own little pillow slip to put over whatever's there. And they're just a couple of tips we've had from previous guests. Also snacks. If you have favorite things, protein bars, or you make your own trail mix or things like that, they're really nice to have on the more difficult treks, I think, rather than buying like a chocolate bar somewhere in a village. It's like having something that is really nourishing to sustain you when have a little treat when you're feeling a bit tired from all those steps in Nepal.
Right. True. I totally agree, especially on the snack part. So for the gear shopping and stuff, it's not a problem. You can do it here itself. And also that would also help because, if you see our itinerary always prioritizes on like local experiences and stuff. So, when you're buying stuff here, it's also like you're supporting the local economy, which we highly recommend. But having said that, for the snacks part, I agree. If there is anything like your favorite, it's better to bring it from home, because Kathmandu and Pokhara, again, you can have the variety of options for snack shopping, but once you are into the terrain, if it was like Annapurna base camp or Everest base camp, then there are like small shops very easily available to get some like sneakers and stuff, but definitely it would be like double the prices than that you get it in the city. But for the Mustang reason, again, it's not like you can have a small tea shops available anywhere just randomly. So in that case, yes, for the snacks part, especially if you're doing like Upper Mustang trek, I would highly recommend having some good snacks from back home would really help. Yeah.
Yeah, I found that's just helpful to have something, something healthy, because if you don't have it, you'll tend to buy like a chocolate bar, or I will anyway. That's my kind of Shona.
I was just going to ask, what's it like for water? What accessibility do you have to water along the trek?
So for water, we always recommend like having, rather than buying this bottled water, which is definitely easily available anywhere, but we do not encourage that. We do not recommend that at all. So in that case, definitely when you're driving from Pokhara part, there would be like a water jar that we would be keeping, and then our people can refill the bottle. And in the tea houses, yes, we either boiled water would be provided, or if not, then the normal water can be easily accessible, but that must be purified. So we do not recommend drinking like water just directly, whatever is provided. There are like lots of options with the taps, with the streams, because Upper Mustang, again, you would see like, waterfalls and everything. You would definitely get like small taps in between stops and all, but we do not recommend drinking those water directly. So in that case, For the vehicle part, yes, some water jars would be kept, and then you can just refill it. But other than that, for the when you are in tea house, you can either get like boiled water, or you can either use the normal water and just purify it. So for that, please have purification tablets or any sort of water purifier. Otherwise, again, if you miss to get that, then again, it's easily available to buy it in Kathmandu as well. So you can get either purification tablet or the purifier liquid sort of thing, which you can easily filter your water and have it. But sometimes what we have also come across, especially like my personal experience, sometimes like people do complain me saying that, Sajiya, you say like, drink a lot of water in the trail, which is very, very important. Like at least 2 to 3 liters water per day is highly recommended. But having said that, some people really dislikes the water purifier taste. That's like even my personal case. Like I do not like any sort of water purifier taste in my water. In that case, I think you also get like, you can get it back home, some sort of like flavors which can make your water taste good. So in that case, just carry some of those as well. That would really help. Yeah.
Thank you.
And carry your own bottle so that you can refill the water. And yes, another one more tip. So I'm just getting all the information back in here. So since it's like a October November trip, with the weather wise, I told you like -5 degree could be like above a 2,500 meter. But sometimes if it's extremely cold, even in the tea houses, because it's not going to be facilitated with like heating inside your room. So sometime when people carry the water, the pack kind of thing where it has this straw, this pipe bladder, water bladder. Sometimes the pipe might get frozen, which makes difficult to drink water, especially when you are going on the higher altitude. So in that case, at least try to have wide mouth water bottle as well, so that it's easier to refill the water and drink accordingly. So that's also one of the tips I share with my people.
Yeah, that's really helpful, because those water bladders are great to, like at altitude, that you can stay really well hydrated and keep sipping rather than stopping, getting your water bottle out. Sometimes you're like, oh, I can't be bothered, I'll be okay, I'll keep walking. And dehydration is like really not a great idea, especially at altitude. Also, the other thing, I don't know, it's worth perhaps having a little check-in with your doctors prior to the trip, but a lot of guests that are going to altitude will go and come with a script of Diamox. Because, it's obviously not medical advice. We would just 100% say, go and chat with your doctor and, take their advice on whether they think it's something that you should bring with you. But a lot of hikers at altitude do take this medication, and it does have some benefits to prevent altitude sickness. So definitely look into that and do some research. Do you have any, I guess you would see a lot of guests in Nepal are taking this medication, I assume.
Well, it depends on like person to person, definitely. Like some people feel comfortable taking it right from the beginning of the trip itself, but some people would, it totally depends on the prescription. So definitely we would not say whether you take it immediately or you don't take it. So that's completely your call. But with our experience, and I think all of you would agree, medicines are definitely supposed to be taken like when you are sick, not before you are sick, right? So when you are landing in Kathmandu, you would be in the altitude of like around 1,345 meter. And then again, you would be heading to Pokhara. So that would be more lower, somewhere around like 900 meter. And then your first destination would be like Kagbeni, which is around 2,800 meter, I guess. Let me just recheck the altitude. Yeah, so that would be somewhere around like 2,800 meter. So in that case, what we would suggest is like, at least see your condition, how you feel when you are in Kagbeni area. And then if you feel like taking it, it's like completely your call. But in that case, what I would suggest is like whatever medication you are taking, especially even if you are taking medicine for like high altitude, you need to make sure that you are informing this to your guide. Because they need to know like whether sometimes what happens, like if people are actually sick and supposed to take the medicine, the medicine might not work because they have already taken it in an overdose, or like, let's say in like whatever prescription they have. So our suggestion would be like, see your condition, how you feel, because we have had experience where people might feel a little bit of dizziness even in Kathmandu, like, it's coming from a very sea level, and then, even like 1300, 1400 meter could be challenging. So in that part, see your condition and then you can decide. But having said that, our leaders would be checking back and forth every day. They would be tracking how you're feeling. They would be monitoring your oxygen level. They would be seeing like whether you are having any sort of like issues, whether you are having any sort of symptoms. So those would be monitored very carefully. So in that case, you also need to cope up with the leader that when they are trying to check your oxygen level or certain criteria symptoms, then in that case sometimes people really get offended, saying that it's very private and stuff. But these sort of information really helps our leader to prepare and monitor like how you are feeling before you reach 4,000 meter. So in that case, it's completely your call. It would be good if you have your own prescription, if you bring your own medicine. But sometimes, yes, I do agree that there could be very tough scenario to buy medicine in the back home. So in that case, you can get it here, even in Kathmandu, especially Diamox, acetazolamide. I think that's the another name for that medicine. So you can easily get that. And also our leader would be, our leaders, all our leaders are first aid trained. They're trained with a high altitude as well, so they are aware like how to take care of people when they are unwell in the high altitude. And also secondly, they would be carrying their own first aid kit, which is a level E, so that is like quite useful. And other than that, there would be also the oxygen cylinder. One person would be also carrying oxygen cylinder in case of any emergency. So those equipments are there in case of emergency. But having said that, touch wood, we do not have any situation where we have seen people getting evacuated or getting like very, very unwell at the Annapurna trails. So in that case, we are quite positive. But I would definitely recommend you like taking precautions from day one itself. So we ask people to hydrate a lot. So be very serious about your hydration. Drink lots of water, get some like electrolytes and stuff. Those really helps. Have a soup in your meal. Have something like take lots of break. Enjoy your lighter snacks. So these are like very tiny little tips we share with our people before they start their high altitude journey. So these sort of information are like very important to keep in mind. It might sound very small, but it's really useful. Yeah.
And the other thing we always suggest is please always talk to your guide. Like if you just have a slight headache or something, it's like don't keep anything secret, because they're experts and they're there to care for you. And it's like if they don't know, they can't look after you properly. So it's like just communicate. Even if it seems not much, just like, oh, hey, I feel a bit like tired today, or I have a little bit of a headache, or, it's really great for them to know, because then they can, as you say, they can monitor it and just keep an eye on everybody. It's nothing to be scared of. They're experts in taking care of people at altitude, but for us, it's just unfamiliar territory. Generally, we're not used to living at high altitude. Even, I think, guests that fly into Peru, I think, they land at some huge altitude where everybody just exists at like 4,000 meters or 3,000. I don't know how high it is, but literally that's just life there, whereas it's really unfamiliar generally to us. And your body just takes a little bit to adjust as well.
Right. And also our leaders would be in like constant touch with us about like if there is any scenario where our people really needs help. So in that case, we would be also in like connection back and forth. So that is something like once they are into the trail, they keep us updating us like all the whereabouts and stuff. So we also keep on like back in the let's say situation, we keep on guiding them like what next, what plans can be done. So we all are like very much connected. So that's also one of the thing. Yeah.
And the same back with Camino Women, we have the WhatsApp groups for all of our trips, so that there's a WhatsApp group for all the guests to communicate and connect with the guide. I'll monitor it from our end. Our European team monitor it when I'm sleeping, and that that communication exists. We also have a guide WhatsApp group where we, the logistics side of the trips, that we're also involved. So anything at all that needs to be shared, definitely, there's great communication and support. You're not doing it alone up there. You've got a huge team of people that are all there to give you the best outcome and to let you have a fabulous, fun trip. That's like the aim is to go and explore the world and have an amazing time. The other tip, which is really like a little bit unrelated in some ways, but after all of our trips, we have a feedback call. We'll chat to the guests, hear what their favorite parts were, where they think that we could make improvements, because one of our kind of company policies or philosophies is continuous improvement. So we want to take all that feedback and implement anything that guests have suggested. That you know, if a few guests on a trip are saying something similar, like, oh, that day, you know, whatever it might be, we try and make adjustments and changes accordingly. And one thing, a lot of guests that have been to Annapurna Base Camp have said that they really loved a couple of days in Nepal or in Kathmandu prior to the trip starting. Just gives them a little chance to explore. Kathmandu's a really gorgeous, it's a gorgeous, vibrant city. It's fun, it's bustling, it's, I don't know, I love it personally. But a few of the guests have said that they organized a helicopter ride. Probably quite expensive, but if you're going all the way to Nepal, you can do a helicopter scenic tour and go and look at Everest close and personal. And they've said that that is really quite extraordinary. So maybe just something to consider if you're going on one of these trips, to arrive a couple of days early, enjoy, you know, Kathmandu, support the local community, and yeah, maybe if you want to go and see Everest, you know, out the window of a helicopter, that's something that I've heard is really fabulous experience as well.
True. I think that totally makes sense, Vippa, and I agree. I mean, those who cannot make it to the full trekking to Everest, it's still a very good opportunity. And also, October, November is like one of the best month to enjoy the tour. And yeah, I mean, and even I agree with the having extra days in Kathmandu either before or after the trek, because there are like lots to see in Kathmandu, and I believe that date also is a festive time in Nepal. So let me just have a quick look. And the city would look very vibrant, both Kathmandu, Pokhara, and like overall Nepal itself. So I think it would be a very good opportunity to explore around, do some extra tours, you know, get very closer view of numbers of UNESCO heritage sites that we have in Kathmandu, some being like Pashupatinath Temple, where the cremation is done, Bauddhanath Stupa, Bhaktapur Darbar Square. So these are like very, very ancient, rich cultural heritage sites we have. So maybe, you know, exploring around that would be also a very good idea after spending lots of money to come to Nepal. So with one ticket, you can do lot more things depending on the holiday you have. So I think that would be a great opportunity to explore and see a little bit more of it. Yeah, I agree.
And on the Annapurna Base Camp trip, the first activity is a cooking class, which I think when I first joined as working at Camino Women, the first trip I looked after was Annapurna Base Camp, and I was in the WhatsApp group, and I woke up one morning and there were like 500 photos and videos that had come into my like photo feed on my phone, because the guests were having so much fun. They were taking photos everywhere, and it was such a beautiful bonding experience. And I had to get my kids, I'm like, oh, you need to show me how that all these photos don't transport into my phone reel. I feel bad having like people I don't know all in my personal, but it's like, it's gorgeous because all the guests share all these photos and videos of their trip, and we get to enjoy it back here and feel like we're, you know, part of what you're doing. But that activity, I think, is a really great icebreaker for the guests. You know, there was just such a lovely bond that formed straight away, where they had this shared experience and a really lovely cooking class straight up in Kathmandu.
True. I think some of the people are still in connected, like we are still in the group chat, and they keep on sharing like which part of the world they are in. Yeah, it's so good to see all the women, like, you know, traveling and sharing food pictures and stuff. So me and Somita, we keep on like, look at them, we are working in the office and they're having so good time. Look at new post. Yeah.
Well, we had a lady just came back from a trip from Laos on Saturday, and she emailed Sunday saying, I want to go to Morocco, please, can you book me? Like, she's just finishes one trip and she's planning the next one, which is really exciting. You know, it's such a joy to see people go and live their best lives. So yeah, I think you three have all booked on a really fabulous trip, and Marnie, hopefully we see you in the future. Dolly, welcome. I can't see you, but hopefully Oh, there you are. Hi, Dolly. I think you're on mute.
Hello, how are you?
Very well. So we've just been chatting about Annapurna Base Camp and Upper Mustang, and these two gorgeous girls are part of the team in Nepal that organized the itineraries and lots of the logistics for these trips.
I'm going close to the base camp in May just to have a look, and then keen to go Annapurna as well. So I'm going for a 3-day hiking tour to Mount Kailash in May.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, but very keen on Annapurna base camp. That was the next one on the cards.
Oh, well, we have one later in the year, or otherwise we've got 3 dates already for 2027. So hopefully there'll be one and you'll get the bug to
Yeah.
go back to Nepal.
I'm very keen to go, yeah. I thought I'll get this one done, go have a little look around, and then do that one. So very keen on that one.
Oh, well, welcome, and hopefully, yeah,
Thank
you
you.
learned a few things here from these girls. And is it possible to talk a little bit about like the trip design process and what's involved in, figuring out the logistics of taking, 12, 14 women to these regions that are quite remote?
Me?
Oh no, sorry, like Somita or Sajiya, like
Okay.
sorry, Dolly. Yeah, the trip design process behind the scenes about how they, make all logistics work. I think it's amazing.
So during the trip design process, we definitely draw from our own experiences, the treks we have done and the parts of the country that we've been to. For example, Sajiya has been to a lot of trekking trails, and I have only just started trekking, but then I have been to part of the Annapurna region and some parts of Everest, and maybe bottom of the Upper Mustang region as well. And we also work closely with our local guides, who travel very often, like almost twice a month, to the regions that we are planning to design itinerary in. So and then we have a very proficient operations team who has also quite a lot of experience trekking in these regions. So all of us, we sit together and brainstorm the perfect itineraries for our guests. And then once we develop the itinerary, we figure out the best time to go out for recce and exploration on our own to better design the itinerary, to make the itinerary more suitable for the travelers who have not been to the region. And during the recce, we figure out all the necessary logistics that might be required during the trip. For example, what sort of terrain the clients would be walking in, what would be the altitude they'd be going to, what sort of tea houses they would be staying at. And then we have another separate team, which is called the contracting team, that does all the research of the accommodations, and then they figure out the level of safety of the accommodation, the quality of the services they have, and we figure out the best possible accommodations for our guests. And we, sort of bring all of these different elements together from all of the different teams and their experiences, and then give a final picture that is like presented to our guests.
Yeah, it's really lovely to know that process and how much work goes in behind the scenes.
Yeah.
For our guests to be able to suddenly just pick a trip as though, oh, I'll just pick this one. But yeah, the logistics of creating that for 14 women, and the fact that you're both women is really exciting for us as a female trekking brand. That we have a team of girls that are working over in Nepal to do this, and one of our guides that we've had on a few of our trips is fabulous, and another female guide, which is guiding, I think historically has been more of a man's role, hasn't it? So,
Trekking, like leading trips, not just treks, but city tours and stuff, has historically been a man's job, and there are like not that many females involved in the area. But having said that, the popularity of that kind of job is slowly growing amongst the women as well, and we have a lot of females excited to be leading treks and trips. And even for our Camino trips, we have been introducing new female guides as well, because the popularity of female-only trips has been increasing. And not just the main leaders, we are now in the process of hiring more and more female porters and assistant guides as well, so that maybe we are hoping to one day have a fully female-led Camino women trip. So we are in the process of increasing the number of the entire crew, not just the female leaders. And we have had quite good feedback from our other Camino women that have done the treks as well. They really love how the women have taken leadership in a male-dominated field, and we're really proud of that as well. Even though like the back office is a mix of males and females, we are trying to make the ground crew fully female, so that the female group would be more comfortable.
Yeah, it's so exciting. Imagine a team where all the porters, everybody is all female. That would be, yeah, really quite
True.
something. So
Yeah, I think it has evolved a lot, because I remember, so basically I joined tourism in like 2012, and I still remember my first office, the local office that I used to work. I was the only female staff, like out of 20. So there were like 19 men, and I was the only female staff. So and now looking back, we have like lots of female crew, lots of female tour leaders, and they are actually rocking this trips, I would say. And the feedback, the NPS score, and the appreciation that they get is like so beyond, like I don't even have words. So I always remember, like, oh my god, back in 2012, when it used to be like, I mean, no matter how much educated people were, I still used to get that eye on that, oh, okay, so you're only the women in the office. And now it's like, we are so dominating. So I find it very interesting. I always get excited about these things. Yeah,
it's really exciting. The men are probably feeling a little bit nervous, like the girl power is taking over. But I think, it's a tough job too, guiding, and Nepal is very, very mountainous. It's hard terrain. So doing that for a job, I take my hat off to the teams that are doing that, day in, day out. It's definitely physically very demanding. Anyhow, and any more questions before we wrap up, or is everybody?
Yeah, can we just ask a few little questions around training? So Amy and I are going to get into our training regime now. So we want to get a bit more serious about it. We do little treks on a pretty regular basis, and we're both pretty active and fit. But I guess we just want to incorporate a regime that will be a little bit more specific to this trip.
I've just looked up to just give you the heads up, and you can pop it on your fridge or something. It's 281 days until your Upper Mustang trip.
Wow.
So that gives you like a little countdown kind of goal setting to, maybe reverse engineer your training.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely send you some links to some webinars that we've had with Rowan from Summit Strength. He's really fantastic. His business is designed around preparing people for adventure travel. There's some about how to prepare for high altitude treks, how to prepare for a level 5 trip, all sorts of different webinars that he has, that we've, he's run with us, and we've got recordings of that I'll just pop them in an email through to you. But maybe Sajiya and Somita, have like specific things that they know that guests coming to Nepal that would be really helpful to, I don't know, whether it's, carb loading, getting a little bit stronger before you come, or certain foods that might be really helpful, and definitely preparing for steps. Obviously, as they said, Upper Mustang doesn't have the same number of steps as Annapurna or Everest, but just, fitness and cardio fitness is really, really helpful for the altitude. I think the stronger your heart and lungs are, the more, inclined your body will be to cope in that environment. It's just everything's harder at altitude. Taking a few steps, you like puff and you think, oh my God, I thought I was fit at ground level. And then you come up there and it's quite humbling because everything's a little bit harder. So I don't know if you two have any specific tips for preparation that might be useful.
I think, Pippa, you covered up pretty much well. So in that case, what I would also suggest is, have the habit of, so if you are cycling, jogging, or, going on a day hikes, I would highly recommend to start trying to walk on your trekking boots, because sometimes people really struggle with new boots once they are into the terrain, because you would be walking in a very uneven hilly landscapes, like by carrying your backpacks and stuff. So in that case, definitely your day-to-day like cardio or activities plays very important role. But if you're also into like walking, running, or short hikes and stuff, in that case, try to have habit of maybe walking with your hiking boots. That really helps, which you would be using for the trip itself, because brand new shoes are not very friendly for your feet, especially when you're walking in the uneven terrain. So in that case, that is something that we would recommend. Yeah. Otherwise, your day-to-day activity, your exercise, your cardio, your running, jogging, all would be all would play like very major role in this trip. So those things should be fine. And other than that, I think Pippa would be sending some links as well for the training thing. So maybe you can just have a look on those as well. But the small tip would be, yes, definitely make that habit of walking in your hiking boots. That's highly recommended. Yeah.
And I can also put you in touch with Rowan too, if you wanted him to design a training program for you both, that then you can work with him. I don't know how he charges or whatever, but it's all online, so he could put something together for you that then you just work towards the kind of the goal of being Upper Mustang in 81 days. And the boot thing, you never want to develop foot problems because you're being a bit hardy, or you think, oh, it'll be right, my feet are, I don't know, a bit damp, but they'll be okay, I'll sort it out tonight. It's like, never ever let your feet kind of suffer, because the price that you pay will be for the rest of your trip. And that's a personal experience. I walked the Camino 2 years ago. I just thought I was tough and that I'd be fine with a few blisters, and literally every step hurt for like 1,000 kilometers because I just didn't do it the right way in the beginning. Wore the wrong boots, thought that I was going to be fine, and then ended up with horrible blisters and sore feet, and it just took a bit of the joy out of the whole trip. So you never really want to let anything kind of creep up on you and think you'll deal with it that night. It's like whatever surfaces, deal with it straight away would be my suggestion. If it's raining, get your rain jacket out so you don't get dripping wet. If your feet hurt, stop and take the 5 minutes to adjust your socks or the laces, or whatever it might be. Put a Band-Aid on if something's rubbing. It's just like kind of prevention's better than a cure.
Just on
sorry.
Just on footwear, I usually wear trail running shoes rather than boots for my hiking. What are your thoughts on that for the terrain?
Again, it's so tricky to answer for the shoes preference, because the trekking boots are, I don't think trekking boots and the running trail shoes are like very similar. So sometimes people do not feel comfortable wearing trekking boots. So in that case, definitely it's absolutely fine if you're running with your running shoes, but how comfortable will you be while walking in the trekking shoes? So that is also something I would recommend to check. If you're fine, if you're comfortable walking with it, you think that you would get used to it, then that's absolutely fine. Otherwise, at least for like a month, I would recommend try walking in the shoes that you would be using for the terrain part. That is something I would recommend. Yeah.
And if they're waterproof, I think that's one thing. It's like
Yes.
boots probably are more water resistant or waterproof if it pours with rain. But it depends too. It's like if you're walking on easier terrain, I think hiking big heavy boots can get too hot and cumbersome. So I think a lot of people seem to be preferring those trail shoes now. They've got great grip, they're lighter weight, they're comfortable, and they can just about get you to most places. So if that's what you're familiar with, don't change it probably if you're really comfortable with those. That would be my suggestion. But it's always personal choice. And you've got plenty of time to try something else in the meantime, and then weigh up which one you think's a better option.
Oh, that's good, because I've got hiking shoes that I really like. So I'll try both then. Yeah.
Yeah, and see, but I think comfort is super important if you're going to be walking. I think on Upper Mustang, you walk 148 kilometers during the 19 days. So it's, you know, it's consistent. I mean, the biggest day I think is 24 kilometers, but consistently you're walking, you know, 18, 20 kilometers every day. So you want to be, you know, not hating putting your shoes on each morning. You know, you want to just know that you're going back out there and walking that far again, and that whatever's on your feet is comfortable. I think that's one of the, I mean, for me, it's like the worst things are being cold consistently or having sore feet. Like I hate being cold. So it's like having layers where you can, you know, if it does turn freezing cold or the mornings are really cold, you've got layers that you can easily take off and pop in your backpack. Yeah, that way. So that's just, you know, my experience is rather than having lots of bulky clothes, it's like thinner layers, and then you can sort of adjust accordingly. And
I had a question.
oh yes, go for
Yeah,
it.
I actually have the asthma. It rarely flares up, but I haven't walked at a high altitude before. So I'm just wondering, do you get many people who have asthma, or would you recommend maybe trying a different hike or try a different trip? I don't know.
Our recommendation would always be with anyone with any health things at all is to please see a GP and get clearance from them. Especially for high altitude, we would have what we call just a medical fit to travel form that we'd get your GP to complete for you, to say that, you know, that you're going to 4,000 whatever to the altitude that you wanted to choose to go to, and just to check with them. Do you have like a Ventolin or something that you have as
Yeah, but I don't even use it because I rarely get it. So yeah, I haven't tried high altitude. So yeah.
I don't know specifically about how asthma would be impacted from altitude. Maybe you girls know, but it would be definitely something that we would suggest that you definitely check with a doctor and just make sure that they're comfortable with you going to somewhere like that. And
Okay.
I don't know, do you know Sajiya or Somita?
I think people, I would agree with you on this as well. So having like proper like discussion with your GP and getting the, you know, clarification would be very useful for us, and then you can get back to us and we would guide you accordingly.
Yeah, sure.
I think that
Okay.
that would be good. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Could
pleasure. I think
I please answer?
beg your pardon?
Could I please answer that question as well?
Oh yes, sure.
So I'm a registered nurse, and where I work, one of the doctors who has asthma, he
Yep.
did go on a hike. I think he went on a 3,000 K. That was the level he walked at. And from my understanding, he did take his buffer, and he also took extra oxygen as well, because
Right. Yeah.
yeah, he did say that the puffer did help a lot. And I personally don't have asthma, but he did recommend where I'm going to take a Ventolin puffer as well. He said, never know. Even if you don't have it, it might just trigger it, and you'd think that a lifesaver.
Yeah.
So that's something that I was recommended as well. I'm going in a few months, but he did say if you can get it, that would be really good, especially going at that altitude. You will need it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
But definitely, if there's something, you know, on your heart where you want to go and explore some part of the world, you know, hopefully,
Yeah.
like asthma's not going to stop you. That there's, you know,
No.
I'll say, if there's
I
a will,
just-
there's a way. So
Sorry,
hopefully, you know,
can I
just
just say something about that too? Sorry. Yeah, I've done a bit of reading too around asthma, and it's not so much the altitude that affects people with asthma, it's the dryness of the air.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was looking on the site, and you've recommended the wraps for your face, like the cotton
Yeah.
as well, and that helps heat the air as it comes in, and humidifies it. Sorry. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, a few things like that, or check, or perhaps you know, there'd be some people out there that have hiked to high altitudes with asthma that might find some information online as well. Any suggestions that someone that's, I'm sure there's lots of people that have gone to high altitudes previously, and they might have some tips and things to share with you as well.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't mean to.
Oh, no,
Thank you.
absolutely. That's what it's for, just for everybody to feel comfortable and ask questions. And, you know, I don't know, I want everyone to go and explore the world wherever they, you know, wherever their heart takes them. So hopefully everyone gets to do that. But I'm going to say a big thank you to Sajiya and Somita, and there's a special celebration on in Nepal at the moment. What is the special occasion at the moment?
So there's this festival called Losar going on today. So Nepal has a lot of different ethnicities, and all of this, like many of these ethnicities, have their own New Years. Like there's Gregorian New Year, and we have our own Nepali New Year, and then there are different communities, they have their own years. So today's Losar is the new year of one of the communities called Tamang people. So Tamang are the communities that reside high up in the mountains. Like many of them have migrated to city areas as well. So we have a holiday here for those people celebrating. So it is a big celebration of their new year, and they have all these goodies, different kind of goodies, and they distribute it among the people. They have their own specific dances and songs, and they make a big joy out of it. So it is that festival happening. And we even though like Sajiya and me, we are not from the Tamang community, we try to have different kind of holidays included for our people, because in the office we have some Tamang people as well, so we are having a holiday here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we've dragged them both to work on a holiday. So I'm very grateful. Thank you for coming. It's been just lovely to, you know, have you share all your magic and experience and expertise with our guests. I'll have a recording of this for anybody that wants it, or we'll definitely share it with anyone else that's interested in our Nepal trips. And yeah, the Michelle and Amy and Jill, can't wait to see you three go off and explore Upper Mustang. I think you're going to have an amazing time. Yeah, Gail, sorry. And yeah, any other guests that are curious about anything to do with Camino Women or Upper Mustang or Annapurna, please just give myself or Sophie a call anytime. But a really big thank you to both of you.
It was
Thank
lovely.
you, everyone.
Yeah, it was lovely chatting with you, and we can't wait to welcome Michelle and Amy and Gail, and hopefully probably in the future, or maybe even Marnie in our future trips. We look forward to having you here.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
for sure. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. And
Bye.
enjoy your
Bye.
trip, Charlie, as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.